goes back to when you talked about that point in time in your life there when you were dealing with, your father being up in Penetanguishene and always being the victim. You get tired of being a victim, you lash out. And that's what's been happening in the military world too. These guys are tired of being the victim. We've lost our families, we've lost our physical health, we've lost our mental health, we've lost our income, we've lost our ability to provide, we've lost our ability to have deep interpersonal relationships. We're angry as hell and we're lashing out.
Yep.
Bad idea.
And
right?
That absolutely is.
Right?
You don't want a bunch of trained killers pissed off.
Because that's when we start doing exactly what you did, where we start taking the drugs. And then we get caught up in the drugs, right? And we do it using prescriptions, but we still do it, right? It's still an addiction. And this whole process, it overlaps so much, and we can see that, and we can choose the healthier route by not getting caught up in that anger and letting that anger go. Now we can go after solution to the problem without destroying ourselves in the process.
That's right. Managing it along the way, preventing. Not only will we go to the drugs, we'll start lashing out in other ways, taking lives.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you know what I mean? You don't want a bunch of trained killers out there pissed off at the world when they're watching civvies go around.
Part of that is misleading as well. I mean, there's a guy recently on the East Coast who was having difficulty, called in for a mental health check. He said, listen, I need some help. And he had a slew of police officers, cruisers, and they're, it was an aggressive response from the police. It's like, just because a veteran is having a bad mental health day doesn't mean he's going to go on a rampage and kill everybody.
I understand that, but I'll tell you one thing. You'll read in my book that's coming out here in August, my second denial through WorkSafe after a year and a half of jumping through their hoops like a circus monkey. I loaded all my weapons and I went down there to shoot every single one of them.
What?
I went up the elevator, and the minute that elevator opened, all my guns were in the car. I went up to actually who's going down first, second, third, shot. Cops will come. I'll die by cop. They'll do some mass investigation, and they'll go see that I was trying to get help through WorkSafe for a year and a half, and they kept putting both of their hands in my ass and shutting the door in my face. I thought death by cop and doing such a massacre would actually open up an investigation and have them go, maybe we should help people immediately when they're asking for help with post-traumatic stress. That was my goal. That was my plan. Wait till you read chapter 37 to 42. It's insane. But anyways, here we are today.
It's a really good point, because it's two sides of the same coin, right? So the second side of that coin of what happened just recently in Nova Scotia is an event that happened to me a year ago when my mother was dying. I got a phone call and I was told that they didn't expect her to last the night. So I'm at least 4 to 6 hours away. So I got in my car and I started driving, and I pushed the speed limit the entire trip down there. I was tired. I was emotional. I was losing composure, and I got pulled over by a cop. All right, 10 minutes from my mother's house. All right, and it's like crap. All right, and I just got this car. It was a used car. I didn't have the insurance paper with me. I didn't have the ownership property there, even though so I had the ownership. I didn't have the insurance paper. I couldn't find my driver's license. I found it eventually. I was flustered as hell. Everything was going wrong, and I was falling apart in the car. And this police officer, as a Hamilton police officer, recognized there was a problem. He happened to see in my wallet as I was searching for my driver's license, my veteran's card, right? And he said, "You're a veteran?" And I said, "Yes." And he started talking calmer and a whole bunch of different things, you know what I mean? And he said, "What's going on?" So I told him, I just got the call to my mother's dying and trying to make it there before she goes, kind of deal. And he just kept me talking, and eventually I I broke down and cried in the car while he was there. But the guy understood, right, that he had a choice. He could make the situation worse by escalating it, or he can make it better with compassion. He showed the compassion, and then he did the most amazing thing that he could have done, because I didn't have my insurance papers, and in fact, I was speeding, and this is when I expected to get locked up and maybe face another 6 months in a mental institution or something like that. Instead, he turned around and said, "I don't ticket veterans," and he gave me my license back, and he said, "What I want you to do is take your time and drive the rest of the last few blocks," and he followed me. Right? And not because he needed to, but because I know he wanted to make sure I was safe. You know what I mean?
I love it, brother.
That,
huge.
Yeah. Right? So there's two, what I'm getting at is from you, there are two sides to every coin.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. Now that man has had education and knowledge on what you've been through, lived with, struggled, challenged mentally, physically, spiritually. That man, without that, if that was some greenhorn, he'd have put you up on the hood of the car and made things worse, right? So when we can start educating all emergency responders, no matter what, we have that understanding, and the crime rate lowers. Guys like myself don't want to go shoot a bunch of people, right?
Yeah, I sent a letter to his chief, and I sent one to the Spectator as well. To me, that guy, he set a standard which is extremely high, but it's required. I think we, as a society, need to change our conduct rules, and this ties into what we're just talking about in how we fight our battles. We can't allow ourselves, just because we're angry and messed up, to go into battle angry and messed up. We would never go into a battle as a veteran wounded, expecting defeat, right? We will do a tactical withdrawal, we'll regroup, we'll retrain, we'll re-equip, and then we'll go back in with a strategy to win, right? And this is what we need to do, not just as far as drugs like Mefloquine, but just even how we are treated for mental health by mental health specialists. You know what I mean? There's a battle there, and we're not going to win that battle by attacking them directly head on, right?
That's right.
Battles don't win wars, right?
That's right. That's right.
Get them on side, and they are changing. There's so many of the mental health professionals that are recognizing that they shouldn't be using the antidepressants, that they need to be using diet. There are some who actually refer people to me so I can teach them diet, right? Because they're not allowed to recommend a diet without losing their license, because it's not a proven method of dealing with mental health.
Well, and that's, excuse me, that's just it. The people who are trained, who are doing the doctors, the chiefs, the people in command, they have their way. We got to remember, they've been in the system since the 70s to earn to where they are today. Those were the ways. I mean, PTSD was only a diagnosis in 1982, so they have that mentality. It's the next generation that you're helping from your lived and our lived experiences that are helping make those changes over time. In the work we're doing today, the seeds we're planting in the minds of the people in our country will blossom into the fruit that we're working towards, as long as we keep that positive energy, for sure. Now, that being said, I know we got a bail here, but let's help get that message out.